Hey, it's Kim Commando today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. All right, I always like to start with something interesting and fun. And if you're tired of dealing with the chatty Cathy Uber drivers, or what about those cars that are just loaded up with so much air freshener, it just kind of makes you sick? Well, how about an Uber without a driver at all? Now, if you're going to Las Vegas, you can order a driverless Uber. That's right. Self-driving Ubers are now an option in the app. And depending upon how this goes, this will be rolling out to other cities. And I did try to do some research about how the project is going, but I couldn't find any information about what happens in Las Vegas. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen of all ages and the kids in the listening audience too, to this. It's America's largest show about all things digital. It's called The Kim Commando Show, and you can find us on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. We're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Commando. And we're streaming on demand 24/7 as a podcast, as a webcast over at getkim.com. And if you are a brand new listener, we're so glad to have you with us. And if you're a regular listener, welcome back. You can also find us on the American Forces Network Radio. And a special thank you goes out to our servicemen and women in the Army, the Marines, the Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force who protect our great nation. All right, every single day I scour all the news sites and I read press releases and I talk to industry insiders. And this is all done to make sure that you are totally up to date and I am up to date about all things digital. And this is part of the show where I like to talk about the numbers behind the tech. And our first number is $5. That's right. Amazon drivers, they are doing so much. We should all thank them. They deliver our food, clothes, and holiday tech. Now, these drivers make Christmas much more bearable. So you can give your Amazon driver a tip, and it doesn't even cost you a penny. All you have to do is say to your Amazon Echo smart speaker, the A word, that's right, you know who she is, thank my driver. And that driver will get a $5 tip at no cost to you. This is all part of a promotion that Amazon says it's running to celebrate 15 billion packages delivered. Think about that. 15 billion packages delivered. That's a lot of cardboard. The 5 drivers who received the most customer thank yous during this promotional period get $10,000, an additional $10,000 to their charity of choice. So why is Amazon doing this? Why? Let's think about this. It's a PR move, folks. That's right. An Amazon driver was recently killed by a dog delivering packages. So knowing this, a $5 tip, $10,000, seems like nothing for what these guys and gals are doing. Number 2 on our list, Elon Musk and Apple are sitting in a tree making more and more money. That's right. The number here is 30%. If you want a blue check mark that verifies who you are to the world, you're going to need to pay up. But you don't want to buy Twitter Blue, is what it's called, on the Apple App Store. And Twitter is raising the cost specifically for iOS subscribers from $8 to $11 a month. Now, if you're out of the loop, Twitter Blue is that opt-in paid monthly subscription. You get a little blue check mark to your account that says that you're verified. So why do iOS users have to pay $11 a month instead of $8 a month? Remember that 30%? That's where it comes in. Musk told Apple if they want their 30% cut, he needs to raise the monthly price. So the bottom line here, Apple users, buy your blue check mark at twitter.com and you're going to save $36 a year. Now, Apple and Twitter are also fighting over about how much Apple advertises on Twitter because he says they cut back since Musk took over. So Elon Musk says, I have a foolproof plan to destroy Apple. I am going to buy it. Number 3 on our list is 41% of all websites have no customer service number. See, it's not just you when you can't find that 800 number on a website in order to get help. I mean, think about this. We have robots everywhere. Have you ever tried to actually order a prescription by phone at Walgreens? Nightmare. Thanks to tech, companies are ditching phone numbers altogether. Frontier Airlines to Facebook, they're just going to hang up the phone. You're only going to get a chat bot to help you out. The Wall Street Journal recently had a poll, and half the folks there said they had to search a website thoroughly even to find a phone number in the past year, and 41% said there was no phone number available at all. So what can you do if you have a customer service issue and there's no phone number? 1, use the company's form on their website to get help. Next, if you look really, really closely at the chat box, you might see in tiny, tiny letters, we'll call you. Ah, yes, click that and give them your phone number. They're going to call you. Now, if you're really ticked off, what you can do is tag the company on Twitter or LinkedIn. And what's a customer service rep's favorite word? What is their favorite word? Anybody? Anybody? Unfortunately. Yes, unfortunately. Next on our list at number four are 10-minute breaks. Since the pandemic, we've been all having a lot of video meetings. Sometimes I have 4 or 5 in a single day. After all, aside from hosting the show, a lot of people don't realize that I'm also the owner and founder of this multimedia network. Now, if you're stressed out because of your back to back meetings, Microsoft has found out it's all in your brain. That's right. They have a division of their company called Human Factors Lab. They are the ones that watch folks use Microsoft products. And they did an experiment. They strapped EEG caps onto folks as they endured 4 hours of back to back meetings with no breaks. Just one meeting right after the other for 4 long hours. Guess what they found out? Beta wave activity in their brains increased, which means they were stressed. So then they looked at another group that were given 10-minute breaks between meetings, and they found that their beta activity dropped. Oh, no longer stressed. And guess what? The 10 minutes allowed the folks to perform better in the next meeting. So whenever you have back to back meetings, always remember to take a break. Now, I started thinking about this. Microsoft probably spent $50,000 to come up with the point that we need to take breaks in between our meetings. Right? 50 grand at least. Now you know why Microsoft Office 365 is so expensive. And finally, this last coming in at number five, $250,000 is all that you need. Now, if you're wondering what to get me for Christmas, okay, here it is. Here's an idea. An Apple One computer has gone up for sale, and it could be yours, or better yet, it could be mine. It's the Apple One. It was the first product sold by the Apple Computer Company. That's right, they used to be called the Apple Computer Company. About 175 of these were sold in total. Each one cost $666.66 back then. Wow. This is 45 years ago, by the way. It's about $3,200 today. I wonder why they did 666.66. Seems like a bad idea. Anyway, bidding on this item is right now at about $250,000. They say it's going to go for close to $375,000. It's signed by Steve Jobs. It's a little piece of history. It is fully functional. And once you buy that, you could also get me Steve Jobs Birkenstocks. I don't know if you heard me talk about that a couple of weeks ago, is that they actually sold for $220,000, which means that they're now Birkenstock. Birkenstock. No, Birkenstock. Like they're back in stock, okay? If it doesn't come with the Birkenstocks, I know there's a whole bunch of jokes there, but we're just going to move past it. All right, coming up in just a few moments, we've got some more tips that you don't want to miss, like cell phone and tech clues that your partner could be cheating on you. And of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Commando. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. All right, let's start with all of your great phone calls. David in Chicago, glad to have you with us.
Well, came across on the internet a site and for a fairly reasonable price of $49.95, and they claim no hidden costs, 30-day money-back guarantee, support and training, etc. And it sounded like a reasonable opportunity. They were offering, I think, at that particular point, the being kind of a middleman and for drop shipping products.
Okay.
And I just wondered if how you can sort out the good from the bad, and if they're a worthy business or not.
Well, there are a lot of drop shipping scams out there. That's what I'm afraid of.
Okay.
And did they make you any promises on how much you'd make?
Well, they talked. Yeah, it sounded like you could make as much as you wanted to work. Is what they
Hmm.
indicated, but they never did say any. Never any big money or anything.
How much do you want to make?
$25, $50 a week or something like that, maybe.
Oh,
So
okay.
just kind of
All right.
spare time opportunity.
If you and I were sitting around the kitchen table, which we are, and you asked me my advice, I'd say, you know what? Don't give them the $50. Let's find something better for you. Uber drivers and other gig workers are now complaining that that they're even transporting drugs and
Mm,
things that you don't want to be any part of. And I'm not
okay.
saying that this is that opportunity,
Right.
because but I just don't want you to invest your time, money, effort, and energy into something that you could do better. So what can you do to make, say, $100 a month or $200 a month? No, there are
Mm,
different things that you can do. You could go and sign up, for example, field agent, and with field agent, I've done this myself because I want to see how it worked. Is that they give you various gigs, and one of the gigs that I picked up was that I was already on my way to Costco anyway, so it said that there was a gig at Costco, and I had to take a picture of the laundry detergent aisle and send that to somebody, and they paid me $15 for that.
hmm.
No money down, nothing else.
Okay.
There's also Thumbtack, where you could pick up somebody's laundry and deliver it to them or whatever it may be. Do you have a good car?
Oh yes.
Okay, so with a car, you could do Instacart. You could uh, do people's grocery shopping. I mean, there's better ways for you to make money, even up to including, although I heard they're not doing this very much anymore, that you could become an online juror. And so where lawyers are, they want to practice their cases, and you could make $60 to $100 a case if you want to do that. So we have a whole list of legitimate ways to make money at commando.com. We're going to send you that email for everybody else. If you want to find a legitimate list, being a tutor, as I mentioned, secret shopper, whatever it may be, we have those links over at commando.com. Just search for legitimate online jobs. Once again, legitimate online jobs, and that whole list will pop up for you. David, thank you so much for your call. A question I get asked a lot here is, how can I make money taking surveys? And you can. There are sites like Quick Thoughts, Inbox Dollars, Swag Bucks, YouGov. Google even has opinion rewards. You can learn more about those over on our website at commando.com. Jeff in Atlanta, you're up next.
Okay, so I'm looking. I listen to your radio show every Saturday, and it's wonderful. I've been listening to it for almost 2 years now, and
Well,
once I
thank you.
found it, yeah, and it's very entertaining as long as your jokes. Um, what I'm interested in, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago that there was a way to sell like surplus equipment, get rid of your surplus equipment, and I have some of that because we accumulated it over the years. I got, the children and everything have desktops, laptops, all that stuff. And it's a little
Yeah.
bit older technology, but it's good for somebody else, not me. Instead of going
No,
to
so you can.
eBay or Amazon, right? There was somewhere else that you mentioned, but because I was driving, I couldn't write it down.
Well, if you have a lot of older gear,
Mhm.
if you want to see how much it's worth, eBay is always a great place, just because you can type in anything and then you can see what the going rate is. But you always want to look at closed auctions, not the ones that are going on right now. So this way you can see what it actually sold for. Okay. Uh,
Oh,
Am
okay.
and Amazon is really good if you want to get rid of your old electronics, and then they will take your electronics and then give you gift cards just put money right into your Amazon account, so you can trade in your old account, or as well as you can just give it to them for whatever they think it's worth. So
Hmm.
with Amazon, before you discount that, I just want you to try it, because it is really easy. You tell them what you have, uh, and you describe it, good quality, bad quality, and you got to be legit, because you're going to send it to them, and then they're going to know that you lied, and then they're going to send it back to you, right?
Right.
So you give them all the specs, and tell them what it is. And then they give you kind of almost like an estimated value, and they'll give you a label for you to mail it to them. And then when they get it and they
Okay.
check it out, they just put the money right into your Amazon account. So I've done it. It's just really simple. And if you are
Oh,
trading in an Amazon product for another Amazon product, which doesn't sound like you are, but if you are, they give you obviously a better trade-in value than if it's an old Dell computer. But the
okay.
places that we mentioned or that I have talked about is uh, that on Facebook they have what's called SWIP swaps, and these are local groups. So you could find a group in your area where you live, and then you can say, I have all this stuff for sale, and if somebody wants it, they could buy it. Same thing with Facebook Marketplace. And another place where you
Hmm.
might want to check is OfferUp.com. Although OfferUp seems to be more furniture oriented, but I know that I have mentioned this in the past. I'm trying to remember everything that I talked about, but I know that I have mentioned these Amazon gift cards and you trading it in, and try Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. And I'm so glad that you found us just 2 years ago, and that's wonderful, Jeff. I love finding new listeners. Can make sure that you tell 3 friends about us now too, because more the merrier. This also brings up the fact that you don't necessarily have to buy the best of everything when you don't need it. If you haven't already checked out the Amazon Renewed store, it comes with the Amazon Renewed guarantee. You have 90 days for refunds or returns if whatever you buy doesn't work as expected. All right, still to come, how to find out if your partner is cheating on you by looking for some tech clues here on the Kim Komando Show. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Coming up in just a few moments, some cell phone and tech clues that maybe your partner is cheating on you. And right now, we're going to be welcoming Ali Seligman to the show and the podcast. Hello there, Ali Seligman.
Hello, Kim.
Ali is our amazing content queen at commando.com. So when you see all the great articles that are over on the website, Ali is responsible for all of that. And so, Ali, you do a great job all the time.
Thank you, Kim.
All right. So a lot of folks are going to be traveling around, right, in their cars. And I mean, I did myself. I went on an hour and a half ride from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles and back last weekend. And it was really great. And I was so impressed that I used Google Maps. It told me exactly when to leave and good stuff like that. But I'll tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
So on the way back, there was absolutely no traffic. And I was probably going, say, 70, 75 miles an hour. And it took me about an hour and 10 minutes to get from
Okay.
LA to Santa Barbara. So I was really impressed with that. So I said to Ian, I said, wow, it only took me an hour and 10 minutes to get from LA to Santa Barbara. He goes, oh, wow, that's great, Mom. But, last time I did it in 50 minutes.
Oh, don't
Well,
tell your
like,
mom that, Ian.
yeah, I know. I'm like, dude, really? Okay.
He's still got the Autobahn in his mind.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's one of those parenting moments that I think maybe it wasn't a good idea to let him go 200 miles driving on the Autobahn, but oh well.
Oh, well.
All right, so give us some Google Maps trick secrets that are going to be astounding as we share them with our family members and friends.
Yes, indeed. Okay, before we get to the big day where you're driving to hang out with your family, you might have some shopping to do. Yes, most of us do it in person, but Kim, when's the last time you went to a mall?
I don't remember. Let me think.
It's been a while.
I think it was probably in the spring.
Okay.
I went to Scottsdale Fashion Square to Lululemon, I think. I think that was it. Why?
The last time I went to Scottsdale Fashion Square, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I remember having this moment of, oh my gosh, I don't know where anything is anymore.
No.
The stores move, or, you just haven't been there in so long, and you have no idea how to get where you're going. And so you walk around the whole mall. Well, actually, with Google Maps, they have directories of malls, which is really handy. So you open this up and you can get directions to the bathroom, the store you want to go to, wherever you need to go, so you're not walking around the entire mall. If you're flying, these also work for airports, which is really nice. Yeah. So to do that, you just look up a location, and then there's a button that says directory, and you'll see a whole list, and you can navigate to wherever you want to go. This one I really like. If you are going, let's say, to a shopping center. Here in Arizona, we have a lot of these outdoor malls, right? Well, it's the worst when you pick the time to go when it is so packed. There's nowhere to park. Everybody's there. There's something really handy in Google Maps. If you look up an area, you can do this either by searching for it, or if you just, pull the map around, and you can actually see how busy it is at any given time. And it compares it basically to, as least busy as it ever is to the busiest it ever gets. But if you want to make sure you're not going when everyone else in the world is at this place, just look at the map and it'll show you, hey, here's the busyness score for this area right now.
So the question is, Allie, how does Google come up with this information, right?
Well, I would guess because we all have our phones and we have navigated there. Yes.
Yes.
A lot of these things, every time we talk about Google Maps, yeah, there's some privacy concerns and all these things. We have lots of tips over on the site. If you want to go somewhere with maps incognito, if you don't want it to come up in your search results, or maybe you don't want anybody else to know you went there, you can turn off your maps activity, all this stuff. But yeah, there's certainly a price we pay for the convenience of having all this stuff linked together.
Right. But it also works for restaurants too.
It does.
I love that because
I
this
do
way,
too.
like there's a sushi place where I love to go, and it's right on the beach. But it seems like every time I go there, it's packed. But I've been using Google Maps. It's like, okay, all right, so you're going to go get sushi at 4:00, like the old people, but there's no line. Okay,
I know,
that's just
it's the
way
best.
it is.
Yeah, I use that too. Speaking of restaurants, a lot of restaurants, you can actually make dinner reservations right through Google Maps, which is really nice. Sometimes they connect to OpenTable or whatever else, but really easy way if you want to make a reservation somewhere. Okay, speaking of all this tracking, if you are traveling, not just by car, but say you're flying somewhere, and maybe you've got a flight number, you've got a hotel reservation, whatever. Well, most of us have our Google, it's called the Web and App Activity. That's basically Google knows everything you're doing on all your different devices. Well, you can do a little search in your maps and you can get your full itinerary for your trip right there. It pulls it right from your Gmail account if you have one, or your Google account. So again, this is one where we go, oh, okay, a little creepy that all of that information is there, but it sure is handy. You don't have to dig through your inbox for all that stuff. Okay, back to the car. This one I really like. Okay, if you have that family that is calling you constantly or texting, where are you? When are you going to be here? Are you almost here? Where are you?
So annoying.
Yes, you don't have
Or
to
you have
respond.
that. Yeah, or you have that. We have somebody. I'm not going to say who it is. There's somebody in our family who is always late. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, always like not 5 or 10 minutes late, like 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. And this is super handy.
Yeah, for that
Because I'm
person,
like,
do you, if you
yes.
have like a hard deadline, do you do the old, yeah, we're meeting at 4:30 when everyone else will be there at 5?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, you can actually share your ETA if you are running late, or if you just don't want to deal with having to, pull your phone out, text people, call from the car, whatever. It's pretty easy. I'm not going to give you all the steps here because you're not going to remember. But luckily, we have all this written up over on commander.com. We'll show you how to share your itinerary so you can share your trip ahead of time with people. You can also share your trip, your exact location, whatever. The nice thing is all this stuff, once you make it to your destination, the sharing ends. So you don't have to worry about, all these people in my family can see where I go all the time. No, it ends once you make it to your destination.
You mentioned the Google restaurant reservations.
Yeah.
This is something that I just figured out for myself this past week, is that if a restaurant is not on OpenTable, but you still want to go to the restaurant, then you can go to Google Maps, pull up the restaurant, okay? And then you can use Google Assistant to make the reservation for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even though the restaurant's closed, is that Google Assistant will call them and say, "We need, table for two at 7 o'clock." And
That's
so
awesome.
it was so sweet. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing,
Yeah, we'll
amazing
write that up as a
technology."
tip for the site. That's really smart.
Yeah, that's really great. So, quick, done with all your shopping?
Yep.
Oh, tree up.
No. I'm gonna
Okay.
go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go soon. I'm gonna go this weekend. I'm gonna get it done. I was just
Okay.
telling somebody my favorite lighting possible is the light from the Christmas tree in the living room. It's so
is.
nice. It's so cozy. So I'll
It
get it, and
is.
then I'll probably be that person who has my Christmas tree up until mid-January.
That's okay. Or February. It's
Hey.
just beautiful. I should just keep dusting it off. Just dust it off. Allie, thanks for a great job as always. And all right, you got a feeling. You got just this something going on where you think, my significant other, my partner, the love of my life is cheating on me. So what are some signs? Number one, they're glued to their devices. Okay? Or they turn away their phone or they shut their laptop automatically when you come in the room. Just keep in mind, too, that next on our list is apps can hide secret calls and texts, like a Calculator Pro. Looks like a calculator, but it saves text messages and call logs. Look for a second phone number on their phone. And then you want to get on their device and search for every single letter in the alphabet. Just go A, B, and then you might see some things that they're looking up that you're like, what's going on? They also can have secret messages in online documents. So maybe have a Google Doc or a Microsoft file that says, third quarter goals, but when it's opened up, it's a whole bunch of stuff that's not corporate speak. There's also tools like Our Secret and QuickStego. Also check cloud services, their Prime account, and check phone locations. And if you're looking for any more information about this, just head over to the website, commando.com, and then look up cell phone and tech clues and that your partner is cheating. Once again, the name of this post is Cell Phone and Tech Clues that your partner is cheating. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls as well as a way that you can hide certain photos on your phone here on the Kim Commando Show.
Since our founding in 2000, we at the Center for Internet Security have always had one mission. It's to create confidence in the connected world for people, businesses, and governments. As a nonprofit, we do this by drawing upon our core competencies of collaboration and innovation. The world is changing, cyber threats are evolving, and IT resources are limited. All you want is a way to strengthen your cybersecurity programs efficiently and effectively. Let CIS help you with these efforts. We use a consensus-based process involving IT professionals from around the world to develop and maintain security best practices. These resources are proven to defend systems and data against threats, both on premises and in the cloud. We also strive to help organizations of every size and maturity strengthen their cybersecurity programs. This includes serving U.S. state, local, tribal, and territorial government organizations. At CIS, we're all about making the connected world a safer place. Visit our website to learn more.
Dominique in Denver, you're up next. Glad to have you with us.
I have a very dear 80-year-old aunt who lives independently in her own home, who has an Alexa, and lately she's decided to turn it off because she's afraid it might be listening. And I want her to have something where she can call 911 if she's in trouble and just basically say, hey, Alexa, call 911. She's had 2 incidents over the last year where she did have to get picked up by an ambulance.
That's frightening.
And I think that is just way easier than trying to carry your phone with you all the time. And she does have an iPhone, so she could do the Hey Siri thing, but she has an Alexa in every room. So I'm just wondering if we have some way to convince her that Alexa really isn't listening on private matters or whatever. Is it true that Alexa is listening on private matters? And do you have any advice?
Okay, so here's the deal: is that so you've given her all the technology, so that this way, in case she falls, and I take it she doesn't want to wear like a medical alert device.
Right.
Okay, so you've given her all the tech, so she can say call 911 or help or whatever it may be. And Amazon has done a fantastic job with this. They really have in providing caregivers family members and friends the ability to see what's going on inside a loved one's home and to also have some reassurance that everything is okay. So, like on the video screens on the Echo Show, you can drop in and you can see her. She can drop in on you and you can see her and be notified if she doesn't take her medication, if she doesn't get up, and all that other great stuff. And so, then that's with this. They have this whole program now with the Amazon Echo devices for caregivers, and I believe it's like $20 a month. But it includes all these different things that, as a caregiver, you would want to be able to do. And you can share that with 5 other people. So if you had other folks helping you out with your aunt, that they can sign in and they can get alerts and they can drop in on her and all kinds of good things like that. So that being the case, is what you want to do is next time you're over there, I'd like you to, and I'll give you the steps on how to do this, but you're going to open up her Alexa app. And I want you to show her everything that Alexa has recorded her saying. Okay?
Okay.
And when you show her that list, she's going to see things that she's going to laugh because it's going to be pretty mundane. Play the news, play the music, right? What's the weather?
Right.
What time is it?
Right.
What time is it in Budapest? Whatever it may be that she's asking. And when you show her that list, that this is what's being recorded and this is what's being sent, is that I think that you'll give her peace of mind that her private conversations are not going anywhere. Over time, Alexa has gotten much better, much, much better. It does get some confused words. Like, sometimes people say addicted and Alexa, sometimes the dialects may get changed. But I've noticed in my own recordings that over the years, it hasn't been as intrusive as it was, say, 7 or 8 years ago. So that's what I would do with her. And if you want me to talk to her, I'm happy to talk to her myself.
Thank you.
I'll tell her that, this is just, we're doing this for your safety and we want to make sure that you're okay. We want to give you the help that you need because I understand you don't want to wear a pendant around your neck all the time, right? Who wants to do that?
Right.
Nobody wants to do that.
Right.
And but at the same time, when you fall, we have to make sure, or if you fall, not when, if you fall, or if you need something, and that somebody's always here for you, and that someone is available through Alexa. And maybe at the same time, Dominique, you look at the caregiver. I'll send you a link to that too. Let me make a note. Send you a link.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that existed. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a whole program that Amazon has put together, like I mentioned, for caregivers that goes beyond just, call 911. It really allows you to go into wherever they're living, because I assume that she's still living independently and she wants to be that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I want to be when I'm 80 years old too. I don't want to be living with anybody.
Me too.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I exercise every day. So that's why I do things. So I keep everything going.
Right.
Let me send you some information about that. And for everybody else, I'll post a link over at commando.com inside the community. That's commando.com/community in the Q&A forum. But I know that we've written about this on the past over at commando.com. So I'll make a note right now to send you that link. And for everybody else, as I mentioned, it'll be inside the community. If you're a caregiver, you ought to really be checking this out. And Dominique, thanks for your call. The Amazon program that I mentioned is called Alexa Together. There's a free trial. After that, it's $20 a month. Hey, we're giving away a $500 gift card right now. You can enter to win at commando.com/win. That's commando.com/win. All right, so there are certain photos on your phone that maybe you want to stop seeing when it comes up and it says these are memories. Well, there's the brand new breakup mode. Yeah, you open the Photos app, you find a picture of the person who's out of your life, and then you can tap that says feature this person less or never feature this person again. Now, if you're using Google Photo Memories, you're not stuck. You can also hide people and pets. It's in the photo settings as well. Hey, thanks for listening to Kim Commando today. So reach over and give me a nice 5-star review. Yes, thank you. And we're brought to you worldwide on the Westar Multimedia Network.